हाय एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग। कैसा चल रहा है आप लोग का संडे? नमस्ते। आई एम हियर फॉर द 10 weeks of Yuktahaar project. Just give me 1 second. So what I'm going to talk about today is sleep. So why sleep? So firstly, the book which I have, Yuktahaar, the belly and brain diet, मेरी पहली किताब. If you have purchased the book, if you have read the book, then you know that the program which is Yuktahaar, it is based on four broad tools, four broad principles, which is food, exercise, sleep and neural training. इन चारों की मदद से we try to rebalance and reset your gut microbiome, which then can help you lose weight. It can help you in a lot of the other chronic symptoms, whether it's mental health, whether it's anything, your liver health, cholesterol, thyroid. So we have had so many participants till now. I have had like around 17 of them join me live. So again, we are in week 8. So आज week 8 का starting है actually. So with this week, we are going to finish phase 2, and then इस week के बाद I'm going to step into week 9, which is actually the phase 3, जब हम सारे foods को reintroduce कर देंगे. So this is the last week for phase 2, and till now in 7 weeks I have, I was just going through all the Saturday candid chats, and I've literally spoken to 17 of the participants from the project till now. And if you just revisit those videos, you will know कि उन सबके जो improvements हैं, of course weight loss is there, but apart from weight loss, they have all had improvements in so many other health parameters, which is all varying. किसी को sleep में फर्क है, किसी को period cycle, किसी का like yesterday I met this participant in 60s, and he had like improvements in his thyroid, cholesterol, his uric acid became normal, जिसके वजह से his doctor had pushed him to lose weight. He was having a lot of knee pain, so those knee pain has disappeared, and he's like 62. So it was really amazing to really meet these participants and see the kind of improvements they were having. But what I'm trying to say is कि ये जो जब हम gut microbiome को अपने rebalance करते हैं, and we use all of these tools here that I mentioned, then all of these improvements are seen not only in your weight but overall in your general health, your complete well-being. And out of these, of course, we have been discussing food, because food is the most dominant factor when it comes to the gut microbiome, क्योंकि वो जो भी हम खाते हैं, that's exactly what these microbes in our body, they also get to eat. So these microbes in our body are actually eating what we eat, and therefore it is important that we take notice of what we are eating. So of course food is the dominant factor, the most dominant, by far the most dominant out of any other parameters that you would see. In my book also, if you see, out of the chapters, like I have dedicated like 60% of the book to diet and food. But when I say Yuktahaar is basically, Yukt is right and Ahar is food. So the right food is not only in terms of the food, in terms of the diet that we give to our body, but anything that we feed to our body is Ahar. So we can feed our body movement, or we can just feed some kind of sedentary lifestyle. We can not take care of sleep, or we can choose to take care of sleep. So everything is actually something that we are feeding our body. And as I said, these are the 4 basic things that we really need to take care of, out of which we have really dedicated a large part of the project to food. Exercise is जो हमने पूरे last week I have spoken about exercise. Week 7 जो गया है, the one which is just passed by, is the week that was dedicated completely to exercise. So the exercise portion is covered. Neural retraining, I have explained what the term means in the book. It is basically working on your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, because that is how you get calmer in life. It's not about calm in the sense कि मैं गुस्सा ही ना हूँ and I'll become some sage or some really enlightened person जिसको कभी गुस्सा नहीं आता है. But calm means at your cellular level, at your organic level. It means that your organs, your cells are not always like in a hyper stress mode. There's a hormone called cortisol. It is seen that if your hormone, which is cortisol, is always high up, then it becomes very difficult to lose weight, your belly fat doesn't budge. So these are the things, and therefore neural retraining is important. In neural retraining हम कैसे ठीक कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए I have explained in the book about yoga, Patanjali ka Ashtanga yoga system, which again I have explained in the last week that just went by. So if you see, I have already explained these three things, but what is now left is sleep. And before I wind up phase 2, which is week 8, I don't want to leave sleep aside. So I'm going to dedicate week 8 to sleep. What is good sleep? Do we need to wear, gadgets? And then understand कि मेरा sleep कैसे था? Do we need to take care of, do we need to take help of apps? मुझे नींद आती नहीं है, so what do I do? All of those concerns is something that I'm going to address in this week, which is the last week for phase 2. Okay, so why is sleep important? As I said, it is important because it helps re-establish your gut microbiome. Even if you eat well, you exercise, you do every thing that, every damn thing that we have discussed, but if your sleep is, out of whack, it is still going to affect your weight. A very basic example is अगर sleep अच्छे से नहीं हो रही, the most of the time I have seen that 90% of the time people miss their workouts. क्योंकि स्लीप में कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं है तो वर्कआउट में कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं होती है, सुबह उठ नहीं पाते हैं. ऑल ऑफ दीज आर क्वाइट इनएविटेबल. देयरफॉर ये तो बहुत ही एक डायरेक्ट ट्रांसलेशन है विच वी सी इन आवर डे टू डे लाइफ, दैट इफ यू स्लीप वेल, यू स्टिक टू योर एक्सरसाइज रूटीन, which ultimately helps you get fitter. But other than that, physiologically also it is seen that if you do not take proper sleep, then your health really gets hampered. And people who do start sleeping well, like in my program, when they come on a one-on-one consultation and they start having good sleep, then we have seen them have magical results, even in terms of weight loss, belly fat loss, in terms of hormonal issues like rebalancing, the hormones and a lot of things. So there's a lot of, health parameters that get improved when you start sleeping well. Now, start sleeping well जब हम बोलते हैं तो ये well का मतलब क्या है? What is a good sleep? First, let's define that. Is it about sleeping all day? Is it about sleeping for a certain number of hours? What is a good sleep? So, firstly, let me tell you कि आपको किसी भी तरह के gadgets की या किसी hi-fi apps की ज़रूरत नहीं है. If you want to go ahead, invest a lot of money, you can do that, but it's not something that you have to go ahead and really, put your money into unless you really want to blow it up, but then it's not really required. And the reason why I say that is that, you wear a watch, you wear a gadget, you use an app, you do whatever you want or you don't do. Every person in this world, even you ask a 10-year-old child, उनको पता होता है सुबह उठने से कि रात में नींद अच्छी आई या नहीं आई. Morning, when the person wakes up, he or she, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the gender, knows कि मुझे रात में नींद कैसी आई. So this is something which is so innate and natural to us that I really find it to an extent ridiculous for us to even have an app to tell us कि how well we have slept. अगर रात में नींद अच्छी आती है तो सुबह उठते हैं तो हस्बैंड्स को बीवी भी खूबसूरत दिखती है, पर अगर नींद अच्छी नहीं आती है तो वो खूबसूरत बीवी भी सुंदर नहीं लगती है. सो ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, it just keeps us in a good mood, it makes us energetic, and we all get to know कि कब अच्छी नींद आई है. But National Sleep Foundation has gone a step ahead to even help us know what a good sleep is. So number one is that अगर आपको सोते वक्त, जब आप सोने जाते हैं, आपको 30 मिनट, which means half an hour, 30 मिनट या उससे कम के अंदर बेसिकली विद इन अ विंडो ऑफ 30 मिनट्स आपको नींद आ जाती है ऑटोमेटिकली बाय डिफॉल्ट ऑन योर ओन. And while you're sleeping throughout the night, you do not wake up. So when you do not wake up, it's called vaso, which I've written in my book also. Waking up after sleep onset, WASO, which means that आप सोने के बाद आपको नींद नहीं खुलती है पूरे रात. Then you can assure that you are experiencing a hygienic good sleep pattern. So number one is कि 30 मिनट या उससे कम के अंदर में नींद आ जानी चाहिए. एक बार आप अपने बेड पे लेट गए हैं उसके बाद, और नींद आ जाने के बाद पूरे रात वो एक कंसिस्टेंट अनडिस्टर्ब्ड स्लीप होनी चाहिए. तो ये दोनों अगर फैक्टर्स हैं, मॉर्निंग में ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन यू वेक अप, एज आई सेड, यू आर गोइंग टू फील फ्रेश एंड नाइस. So if you know that these three things are there, then you can just, believe that you are experiencing a good sleep pattern, and there's nothing else that you require any external aid, support, anybody to tell you whether you're sleeping well or not. In terms of hours, a lot of people ask me, what is the good number of hours to sleep? Honestly, it varies from people to people. There are yogis who sleep for an hour a day, but that's because they are yogis. They do a lot of sadhana, because of which their parasympathetic nervous system is at another level. So we are not talking about exceptional cases like these, but as I said, every person have their own personal good hours to sleep. But very average, if I have to say, it's 7 to 9 hours of sleep is what people like you and me would need, who go to offices, come back, have a family to attend, then again sleep, and then wake up again doing the same thing. So mostly, yes, for people at large, it's 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So that is there. Now when we say कि भाई ये good sleep है और sleep आना अच्छा है क्योंकि sleep is going to help you lose weight, it also helps you recover from your exercise. Very 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 important. आप कितनी भी मेहनत मुशक्कत कर लो exercise में, you eat very well, you take all your proteins and everything, you take your recovery drinks, but sleep is the best recovery that you can give to your body. So if you work out hard and then you lack sleep, your exercise performance is going to decrease to an extent, because recovery नहीं होगी, sleep नहीं होगी तो muscle recovery नहीं होगी, and वो नहीं होने से if you still go on giving your 100%, or if you still go on increasing the intensity of exercise without paying attention to the fact that you're not sleeping well, you might end up having a burnout, injury, strain, sprain, those kind of things. So very important for people who work out, people who are recovering from some kind of illness, whether it's COVID or any kind of infection. Again, sleep is very important. People who are suffering from mental health diseases, उनके लिए sleep is very important, because हमारा जो lymphatic system drainage होता है, the system which helps us detoxify naturally. मैंने ये lymphatic system को explain किया था phase 1 के videos में, so you can go back and check. But sleep is like one of your main heroes that can actually help you detoxify your brain. So it's like your natural detoxifier, and it's something that is absolutely essential. So I'm going to talk about two things. One is that, what about, I understand sleep is important. I want to sleep, but, I'm just not able to, put myself to sleep. नींद आती नहीं है, और अगर आ जाती है किसी तरह तो फिर रहती नहीं है. I tend to wake up, every, say, 2 hours, 3 hours, basically in the middle of the night. So what should I do? So that is something that my book explains. My book has given like some wonderful tips that you can follow right away. I'm going to run through those tips, एक tip in a very practical way, very doable way. एक tip I'm going to share with you in this complete week, the week 8 that we are doing. So that you can start applying these tips, and then you can see that you're having sleep which is so deep that you feel so relaxed when you get up. Even for people जिनको कोई खास तकलीफ नहीं है सोने में, even if you guys do these tips, you will see a change in the quality of your sleep. You will see that when you wake up much fresher. You feel that there's a little more energy throughout the day. So I think these tips is something that can be safely practiced by everybody. The second thing what I wanted to say is those section of people who cannot sleep in the night because they are working. Okay, so those section of people who cannot sleep in the night because they are working, इनमें भी subsections हैं. There is one subsection who voluntarily choose to work in the night. In fact, 2 of the participants of this project, they filled in the progress form that I work late till I work till late in the night, and then I sleep at 2 a.m. so in the morning then I wake up late, and then how should I do my breakfast and blah blah. So these were the questions. But basically the fact that they just choose to work till late at night. So, and then there's another section of people who do not choose to work late in the night, but just because their profession calls for. So you can be an actor जिनके night shifts हैं और आपके पीछे 300 से 400 लोगों की टीम है, So you have to kind of, be responsible and show up in the night if there's a night shoot that is scheduled. Or there can be people in, call centers where you're talking to clients overseas, or you can be a nurse or a doctor who has to attend to night shift patients, or you can just be an air hostess who has these night flights. So, those kind of people who probably do not have a chance to kind of alter the work schedule, and then there are people who do it by choice. So for both of them, what I'll say is that firstly, please know कि हमारा जो circadian rhythm है, what is circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is basically our body's natural time clock. I had explained about this in phase 1, जब हम phase 1 में थे and I was doing the live. I explained about this in the 3 hours of TBBD, why we are eating meals in a certain way. That is the time when I had explained our circadian rhythm in the body. But basically a very simple thing to understand कि जब एक newborn baby पैदा होता है, that newborn baby just, there is no regular time for the baby to sleep. The baby sleeps, wakes up, cries, then again goes off to sleep, then suddenly cries. So it's like there is no particular pattern. Whereas, after a few weeks or after a few months, the baby then picks up a pattern, and then, parents also have a good time because then they can also relax. But then basically the point here is that babies जब born होते हैं तो उनके ये circadian rhythm उस समय तक develop नहीं होते हैं, जिसके वजह से there is no natural time clock in their body. They just do things randomly. तो भूख भी कभी भी लग जाती है, रात में 3 बजे भी भूख लग जाती है उनको, नींद कभी भी आ रही है, उठ कभी भी रहे हैं. So that is the kind of life. But of course, when the baby grows up, now as adult you would not want, or even you would not want your 10-year-old kid to be sleeping at any time and feeling hungry at any time, obviously, right? So that will be quite a headache. So हम धीरे धीरे क्या होता है, कुछ महीनों बाद हमारा एक रिदम बॉडी पिकअप कर लेता है, जिसके वजह से हम एक टाइमिंग पे चीजें करते हैं. एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द सर्केडियन रिदम, द मोस्ट बेसिक थिंग इज कि हम दिन में जगे और रात में सोएं. अगर आप चारों तरफ देखें, आप हमारे जो एनिमल्स हैं, बर्ड्स हैं, दे वेक अप एट सनराइज. सो यू कैन हियर द बर्ड्स चर्पिंग when the sun rises. When the sun sets, you don't hear them chirping, because this is like such a natural thing for them to do. They just follow this sun cycle, the sunrise and the sunset so naturally. And there are many things that we can learn from these animals, these birds, because also when these animals are not like your dog, if your dog is not well, the dog is not going to eat food. But हम लोग में क्या होता है, we just follow a set diet. हमारे न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट ने दिया है, हर 2 घंटे में खाना है. We don't even think कि my body is not feeling hungry, so I should probably not eat it right now. But if you look at the animals, the birds, if they're not feeling well, there's no hunger there because they're not feeling well, they will not eat. But I'm not going to talk about food again. What I'm going to talk about is this natural rhythm. तो जितने भी नाइट शिफ्ट वर्कर्स हैं, चाहे आप बाय चॉइस कर रहे हैं या आपके प्रोफेशन का वर्क ही ऐसा है, any which ways, do know that what you're doing is disrupting the natural circadian rhythm. आप वो natural circadian rhythm को disrupt कर रहे हैं, which can cause in the long run a lot of health implications for you. In fact, WHO, which is the World Health Organization, they have classified night shift work into a probable carcinogen. Carcinogen का मतलब है नाइट शिफ्ट वर्क एक ऐसी चीज है WHO के अनुसार कि वो आपको कैंसर दे सकती है. सो दैट इज द एक्सटेंट टू विच द साइंटिफिक बॉडीज हैव इशूड गाइडलाइंस against working in the night. So those night owls who just choose to work in the night because they feel I'm a night, what do they say? I'm a night person. So if you are doing it by choice, I hope that I make sense to you and you start working on your sleep. I'm not saying कि आप एक ही दिन में change हो जाओ, but अगर आप 1 बजे सोते हो तो आप कम से कम 12:30 सोने लगो. So just half an hour करके please get back to a normal cycle. And the ones who are working, as I said, in different professions, you should also think seriously about it. Honestly, there are so many guidelines and articles out there that tell us not to work in the night. But you have to make a choice. I think you have to listen to what best you can do. But had I been in your place, I would have definitely thought of a career switch. But for the night shift workers, in the page 248 in the page 248 in the book, I have given a complete table. sleep strategy for night shift workers. I think this is the best thing that any person working in a night shift can do. Of course, I'm not saying कि आप एक ही दिन में अपना career change कर लो, but I'm just saying कि आप you think about it. Like even like Tapsi doesn't like to work in the night. She doesn't like to do night shifts at all. And after knowing from me about everything about night shift, she doesn't want to work for the night shift at all. But still, she has to do it because the profession calls so. But we then have our own things of how minimal we can make it. Cutting down the number of days she can invest into it. All those things are there, keeping in mind the health aspect also. So basically, whatever best you can do to minimize it. Number one. Number two, during night shifts, please follow this table. A very, very self-explanatory table for people who do night shifts. It's in chapter 8, page 248. So this is it. Now, as I said, जिन लोगों को नींद ही नहीं आती है, as I said, I'm going to share one tip this week every day. अभी ये जो week चल रहा है, I'm going to share one tip so that people can start applying it, so that they can start sleeping well. नींद time पे आने लगेगी, जल्दी आने लगेगी, और नींद पूरे रात deep consistent रहेगी, टूट कर नहीं आएगी. So what are the things that we can do? So for that, as I said, tip number one that I'm going to start with is that अगर आप सोच रहे हो कि मुझे 10 बजे सोना है, if that is what you decide, that I'm going to keep my bedtime at 10 p.m, which is decent. So अगर आप ऐसा सोच रहे हो, then somewhere between 8 p.m to 9 p.m, which means that 1 घंटे या 2 घंटे पहले you should take a hot water bath or a warm water bath, because that is going to induce good sleep, and it is also going to see that you sleep well throughout the night. So this is one very great tip that works excellent for everybody. The timing here is important. If you're planning to sleep at 10 p.m, अगर आप 10 बजे plan कर रहे हो सोने का, then you are not going to take this hot water bath at 9:30. You're going to take this 1 or 2 hours prior to your bedtime. So if you're planning to sleep at 11, then you got to take your hot water, warm water bath at either 9 p.m, anywhere between 9 to 10. So that is very important. Now, how does it help you? A lot of people, बड़े लोग बोलते हैं कि गर्म पानी से सो जाओ, शरीर warm रहेगा, you will sleep well. So what is basically the science behind it? Now, if you see, जब भी हम AC चलाते हैं, we sleep very well. अगर नींद आने में तकलीफ है, AC चलाओ, नींद अच्छी आ जाती है. अगर AC खराब हो गया है, सर्विसिंग की जरूरत है, AC नहीं चल रहा है, तो नींद आती ही नहीं है. We struggle to fall asleep because the AC is not working. So ये क्यों होता है? It's for a simple reason कि हमारा बॉडी तभी स्लीप करता है जब हमारे बॉडी का कोर टेम्परेचर ड्रॉप हो जाता है. हमारे बॉडी का टेम्परेचर जब गिर जाता है, कम हो जाता है, then the body can fall into sleep on its own. So that is basically the concept. Now when you do a hot water bath or a warm water bath, obviously your body warms up. Now your body warms up at that time. So if you're sleeping, say if you're wanting to sleep at 10, you took a warm water bath at say 8, so your body got warmed up at that time at 8, 8:15, 8:20, the time you took the bath. But eventually, because our body is a very natural and very intelligent machine, the body will want to drop this temperature क्योंकि body warm up हो गया है. तो उसका रास्ता क्या है? The blood flow to our hands and feet, it increases. Why? Because हमारा जो hands और feet है, they are wonderful radiators of heat. So our blood flow जो है, वो body hands और feet के तरफ increase कर देता है, so that our hands and feet, हम लोग के जो periphery हैं, वो उस heat को radiate करके हमारे body को cool down कर सके. So of course this process takes time, and that is exactly the reason why I said that you take the bath 60 minutes or 90 minutes prior, not 2 hours, but at least like 90 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes prior. So if you take a bath, then the body will warm up at that time, but eventually in those 60 to 90 minutes, subsequently the body temperature is going to drop down, and then by the time it's your bedtime, you will be like in a perfect place to sleep, and you will feel sleepy and you will feel nice, and you will see that you just are able to tuck yourself into really good deep sleep. So this is one tip from me today. I just will summarize the session. So basically the first thing is about why is sleep important, what are the factors that can improve if you're sleeping well, and how can you know what a good sleep is. एक अच्छा sleep होता क्या है, किसको हम बोलते हैं कि अच्छा sleep क्या है, do we need any gadgets, do we need any apps. So that has been answered. What about night shift workers? That has been answered. And of course, as I said, throughout the week I'm going to share one tip so that you people can apply that and see how your sleep quality, the quantity, all those they enhance, and you are able to wake up fresher and more energetic throughout the day. I hope you find this useful, and I'm going to meet you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you.